Why would an incident that occurred in a military environment be able to shake the entertainment world in such a way? In this exclusive report, we'll reveal detail after detail that makes fans' hearts flutter, leaving a big question mark. What exactly did V experience at the military camp yesterday? According to the unnamed source, the incident stemmed from an unexpected situation in which V's stress and anxiety seemed to exceed his tolerance. Behind the smile and charm that he usually shows on stage, there is a deep inner wound due to the inhuman treatment he received. This triggered a very strong emotional reaction, so Jungkook was moved to speak up to reveal the truth that had been hidden. I end the chronology of the events that took place last night in the military camp. V is reported to have experienced a series of events that indicate acts of persecution. Meanwhile, Jungkook, known for his calmness, suddenly shows an emotional side that is rarely seen. In an exclusive interview that took place with a very tense atmosphere, Jungkook recounted in detail what happened, revealing how heavy a burden V had to bear. He stated, "No words can describe how heartbreaking it is to see V have to go through all of this. We, as brothers, must support each other and ensure that justice is served." This admission not only shocked fans, but also raised big questions regarding the protection and safety of members who are serving in the military, especially those under the media spotlight. The events that took place in this military camp invited a very wide controversy, sparking heated debates among military officials and the general public. Many people question the surveillance system and the mechanism for handling such cases, considering that the military environment should be a safe and structured place. Is it true that there are those who deliberately miss the signs of violence and persecution in order to preserve the image of military institutions? This question certainly stirs the hearts and minds of many, especially when viewed in terms of the psychological impact caused on the victim. V, who has always been known as a strong and passionate figure, now has to endure deep wounds that affect not only his physical condition, but also his mental and emotional. Not only that, this incident also had a big impact on BTS's image as a group that has always been seen as a symbol of unity and strength. Fans around the world were devastated and disappointed, especially when they heard that one of them had to go through this kind of suffering. Many have questioned, how is it that someone who has always been a role model among adolescents and young people can have to go through a traumatic experience like this? The question flooded online forums with a number of moving comments and calls for the authorities to take immediate action to investigate the case thoroughly. In an increasingly heated atmosphere, fans and the public are demanding transparency and justice. Some human rights activists argue that such cases cannot go unpunished and that there needs to be a thorough investigation involving independent agencies. They affirm that persecution in the military environment is a serious problem that can affect the future of not only the victims, but also the institutions that are supposed to be the protectors of the nation. We have to ask, why does the current system still allow this kind of violence? Where are the guarantees of security and protection for those who are serving? Said one of the activists with a very urgent tone. Voices like this also reinforce the demand that this case be investigated immediately with transparency and fairness, without political pressure or specific interest. In a follow-up interview held minutes after the incident, Jungkook firmly asserted that he would not remain silent until justice was served. We all deserve protection and justice, whether we are celebrities or not. What V experienced was a cruelty that must be eradicated immediately, he said in a hoarse but confident voice. This phrase created a wave of excitement among netizens, where many expressed full support for Jungkook's statement and demanded that the military immediately hold a thorough evaluation. Many also question whether this incident is the only similar case that occurred, or whether there are many more hidden events that have never been revealed to the public. These questions continue to haunt, adding layers of controversy and deep concern. Meanwhile, the military camp has not yet given an official statement regarding this incident that has just come to the surface. The lack of an immediate response from the military has added to speculation among the public. Many speculate that there may be a more complex element behind the case, involving internal dynamics and structural pressures in the military environment. Issues such as power, hierarchy, and internal politics began to emerge, adding a new dimension to an already highly emotional case. In the midst of the chaos of information circulating, it is important for us to ask again, is the current system really capable of protecting young soldiers from arbitrary actions? And will justice really be done without the intervention of an independent outside party? In the last few hours, a variety of reactions came pouring in, from human rights activists, military observers, to entertainment observers. Many argue that this case should be a turning point for reforms in the military environment, especially in terms of protection and handling of cases of internal violence. On the other hand, there are also those who question whether this incident really gets the proper attention from the authorities, or is it just one of the many cases that are simply forgotten? These emerging questions show how complex and profound the problem at hand is, as well as how important transparency and fairness are in dealing with cases like this. Not only that, Jungkook's emotional presence in conveying his confession has caused a huge wave of support and sympathy. Many fans admitted that they were touched to tears reading every word expressed by the magne. They consider that this open and honest attitude is a brave step that deserves appreciation, although of course accompanied by disappointment and anger at what has happened. Behind every tear that falls, there is hope that the truth will soon be revealed and justice for V can be established without delay. This growing situation is further aggravated by the emergence of various rumors and speculations on social media. Many unofficial accounts began to spread various theories about what really happened behind the closed doors of the military camp. Some even claim the existence of a conspiracy involving high-ranking officials and parties with certain interests. In the midst of such a heavy flow of information, critical questions continue to resonate. Will we really get complete clarity? Why does a system that is supposed to provide protection instead look fragile and easily penetrated by violence? It is these questions that make thousands of fans and observers anxiously await any update of information, hoping that the truth will soon come to the fore, more than just an incident that took place in a military camp. This case mirrors the challenges faced by celebrities and the general public in living a life full of stress and expectations. Idols who have been regarded as symbols of strength and inspiration now have to face the harsh reality that shows that behind the sheen of the stage there is a reality that is not always beautiful. V, who has long been a source of inspiration for millions of people, now has to go through a long and challenging healing process. And amid that process, Jungkook's presence as an irreplaceable support figure provides a glimmer of hope that truth and justice will eventually prevail. In a more emotional context, V's crying in Jungkook's arms implied just how deep the wounds he had suffered were. No one can deny that the moment touched hearts and aroused sympathy from all walks of life. Many feel that the cry is not only an expression of grief, but also a call for justice. This is a call for all of us not to stay silent against the injustice that is happening around us, said one fan who was moved when he saw the footage of the moment. Such expressions further strengthen the determination of V's supporters to continue demanding that the case be resolved immediately. As time went on, the hope that the case would get a fair settlement grew stronger. Activists, fans, and the wider public united in one voice, demanding that the authorities conduct a thorough investigation without any compromises. They affirm that justice must not be delayed any longer and that any act of violence must be punished with the utmost severity. It is time for us to speak up and ensure that the voices of victims will not be drowned out by the stream of lies. The call continued to reverberate across social media and discussion forums. In a follow-up report that is still developing. An in-depth investigation has been initiated by several independent parties who insist that all the facts related to this incident be revealed immediately. Early evidence suggests that the persecution was not an isolated incident, but part of a larger pattern within the military. Investigators hope that with the cooperation of all parties, the truth that has been hidden may soon be revealed. This truth is expected not only to bring justice to V, but also to be a valuable lesson for the military institution to improve its system as a whole.